Getting into GovTech in 2025 is way easier than what you think, and I'm about to prove it to you. Look, I've been in this space for over 16 years, and the biggest lie that people believe is that you need military experience, or you need to have a government security clearance, or you need to have a bunch of certifications to break into GovTech. All of this is completely false. So in this video, I'm going to reveal every single myth that's keeping you out of a six-figure GovTech career and show you exactly how to fast-track your way into high-paying GovTech roles. So let's get into the first myth. Myth number one is that you need military experience to work in GovTech. There is no need for you to have any military experience whatsoever. A lot of people think that I'm a military veteran. I've never served a day in the military, and most people that work in this industry have not served in the military either. So that is a huge myth. You're able to still get government security clearances even if you have no military experience whatsoever. And government contractors make up majority of the GovTech workforce. So you also don't have to work for the federal government if you don't want to. And I've made a complete video breaking down the different layers of GovTech, from federal government jobs to government contractor jobs. So if you need to watch that video, the link will be in the description below. Now, don't get me wrong. If you have military experience and you are able to get a clearance from the military, that is going to be helpful, but it is not impossible to get sponsored for a government security clearance without having any military background. If you want to get sponsored for a government security clearance, all you have to do is start applying for roles at government contractor companies, not for the federal government. Do not go into USA Jobs and then say, hey, I can't find any jobs that are sponsoring me for clearance. Jobs that are sponsoring me for job. Go onto clearancejobs.com, and there you will find all of the different government contractor companies that are posting thousands of jobs every single month that are looking to hire people like you. Myth number two is that you need multiple expensive certifications and that you need years of experience before you can even start applying to GovTech roles. You do not need to have any experience whatsoever, because to get your foot in the door in GovTech, you're going to want to be looking at entry-level IT roles. So with entry-level IT roles, you can apply to roles like help desk, IT support, IT technician, and if you're up for it and you want to go into networking, you can apply to network technician roles as well. So to break into this industry, you really only need one certification, and that's the CompTIA Security Plus. And I'm going to dive deeper into why you should get this certification and why it's so valuable in this industry later on in this video. So if you start looking at some entry-level positions on clearancejobs.com, you'll start to see that what they're asking for is for you to have the Security Plus certification. They also want you to have soft skills as well. Are you willing to work with other people? Do you work well in a team? Do you pay attention to detail? Are you somebody who's going to go that extra mile to solve problems when they arise? These are soft skills that they're looking for, and these are skills that everybody has. So if you have the willingness to learn and you're willing to work hard to get your foot in the door, you will be able to land your first GovTech role even if you have no experience, because I've been there myself. I broke into this industry without having any experience whatsoever, and I started out in help desk too. I believe that starting out in entry-level IT roles are the best way to get your foot in the door, because they're always looking to hire new people. Myth number three is that it's impossible to get a clearance, or that the clearance process just takes forever. And again, you do not need to go to the military to get a clearance. Like I said before, it is not impossible for you to get a government security clearance. If you go on to clearancejobs.com and you search ability to obtain, you'll start to see a bunch of jobs that are sponsoring clearances. The big thing about the GovTech industry is that there's always new money that is flowing into this industry. So every time that the federal government needs work done, what they do is award contracts to the government contractor companies, and these contracts are never ending. So every single day, there are hundreds of millions, sometimes even billions of dollars being awarded out to government contractors to do work for the federal government. Because there's so many contracts that are becoming available, they always need people to work these roles. So they'll have entry-level roles, and the people that have experience are not applying to the entry-level roles. So you might think that there's way more competition than what there actually is when it comes to getting these entry-level roles that are going to sponsor you for a government security clearance. Because you have to think about it. Somebody like me who has 10, 15 plus years of experience, we're not applying to entry-level IT roles. You're only going to be going up against people who know about this industry, and a lot of people don't even know about the industry, and they don't know that you can get sponsored for a government security clearance. So that is the biggest myth that's holding you back from getting started in your GovTech career. Also, when it comes to the clearance process, you will be able to start working before you even get your government security clearance. So when it comes to getting your first job in GovTech, the overall process will work like this. You'll find a job job that's sponsoring a clearance on clearancejobs.com. And once you find that job and you apply to the job, you go through the interview process, you land a job and you receive your first job offer, you'll start working at this new company. And once you start working at the company, the security officer will reach out to you and they'll start your clearance process. So usually you will start working before you even get your government security clearance, and that is how the process works. Sometimes there will be companies where they will require you to get the clearance before you start working. So you would go through the clearance process before you even start working the job. And then once you get your clearance, then you'll start working the job. So when you look at the job descriptions, it will tell you exactly how the process is. If it says that you need to get the clearance prior to starting the job, then that means you'll need to go through the clearance process and actually obtain the clearance before you can start. But if it does not say that, then that means that you'll start working, and you'll start working on unclassified projects while your clearance is being processed. So I'm sure you might be wondering, well, if I don't have any experience, why would a company even look at me? These companies are going to look at you because, again, there's so many roles that are unfilled. And every time a government contractor has a role that's not filled, they aren't going to be paid by the government. So what they're looking for is somebody who is willing to work hard, somebody who can follow processes and procedures, and somebody who's willing to always learn new things. If you have experience coming from other career fields like customer service, maybe you were a teacher, maybe you were doing management, or maybe you were in a different field like trucking, but there's so many different career fields that are out there, and they will translate well into tech because every single career uses technology in some form or fashion. And you have analytical skills where maybe you were looking at how to break down something every single day, or maybe you were working in logistics. And when you work in logistics, it's all about following processes, keeping track of different items and assets, and this all translates into IT. And I don't want to get too deep into all of the different sides of IT, but there is asset management that is very important when it comes to entry-level IT jobs. So when you're coming from other industries into GovTech, this is going to allow you to have a fresh perspective. Everybody has transferable skills that align to IT roles, and these transferable skills are very valuable. So when you go into the interview, talk about how your transferable skills that you have will allow you to stand out at the job, and they're going to allow you to just perform at a completely different level than everybody else. So these companies are willing to train you and give you on-the-job training, and you will be somebody that is new to the industry that they can mold to the type of person that they want to have work for them. And with everybody being so caught up on experience, there is such thing as being overqualified for the job. There are a lot of people that have a lot of experience, or maybe they even have a master's degree, and they're trying to apply to these entry-level IT jobs. Don't even worry about those people because they're overqualified. Somebody that has 5 years of experience that's applying for a job that's entry-level, they're looked at as somebody who's completely overqualified. The company is also going to match somebody who is going to start working the job, and then they're going to immediately leave. And if they have a master's, they're definitely overqualified in terms of just education. So you should not worry about people that are trying to go up against you with these entry-level IT roles. You are somebody who's fresh in the industry, somebody who is new to this industry who they definitely want to hire. So don't worry about having years and years of experience because it's not needed for entry-level IT roles. And a big secret that I want to let you in on when it comes to entry-level IT roles, it's not always about being the most technical person. Sometimes they just want to find somebody who can communicate well and who's professional. So if you can communicate well and you have the technical background from getting your Security Plus certification, they know that you have enough technical knowledge to be able to come in and do the job. And if you can communicate well with your peers or communicate well with the government customer, they'll give you a chance. One of my biggest skill sets is being able to communicate effectively because most people that work in tech cannot communicate well. So if you are able to have these soft skills that companies are looking for, you can communicate with the non-technical government customer or just non-technical audience. That's going to be good for you because you're going to be somebody who they will want to hire and somebody who they look forward to working with. Because at the end of the day, we're all humans and nobody wants to work with somebody who they can't even communicate with and somebody who they have nothing in common with. And that's a whole nother topic for an entire another video for when it comes to how to really stand out with interviewing and becoming that type type of person that they want to work with on the day-to-day basis, and showing them how you stand out and how you stack up to everybody else in the interview process. If you want to see the exact step-by-step process for landing your first GovTech role, including which positions to target and how to position yourself, click the link in the description to watch my free course that I put together. It's all right here on YouTube. So now that you understand all the myths that are holding you back from starting your GovTech career, I'm going to give you my beginner fast track roadmap, and this is a 4-step process that anybody can follow. So step 1, you need to get your CompTIA Security Plus certification, and this typically takes people anywhere from 45 to 90 days, depending on how much IT knowledge that you have. If you don't have any IT knowledge whatsoever, it's most likely going to take you about 90 days. And I have a complete video breaking down exactly how to pass the Security Plus, and I'll put that link in the description as well. But when it comes to passing the Security Plus, you want to make sure that you study for at least 1 hour a day. If you study for at least an hour a day, you can pass it in 90 days guaranteed. And the reason why the Security Plus certification is so important in the GovTech industry is because the federal government requires people to have it to have root or administrative access to government systems. So if you've ever ran a program on your computer as administrator, this is something that you see a lot on Windows computers, but if you've ever ran a program as administrator, then that is the same thing as having root access on a system. So if you have root access on a government system, that means you have full control to do anything, and the government requires somebody who has full access to their system to have the Security Plus certification. So even if you have no experience whatsoever, that Security Plus certification is going to make you stand out from the competition, and it's going to allow the government contractor companies to use you in more ways that they could use somebody else. Step 2, you want to target entry-level GovTech roles that are IT positions that will sponsor government security clearances. So some job titles that you can look at, as I talked about before in this video, you can apply to help desk roles, IT support roles, IT technician roles, and even sometimes network technician roles, and even data center technician roles. And when you're looking for these jobs, you need to go to clearancejobs.com, type in ability to obtain, and then on the category section, you select all of the different IT categories that they have. And from there, you just start looking for the entry-level roles. Any job that requires less than 3 years of experience is entry-level. Do not pay attention to the degrees. Don't pay attention to the experience. Trust me, just apply anyway, because you never know what they're looking for, and a lot of people are not applying for these positions either. Step 3, you want to leverage your existing background in your application. So like I said before, you want to make sure that you're leveraging your transferable skills. Everybody has something that they're doing that relates to IT. So if you take a look at the job description, you think about the skills that you have, it will help you translate your current skills into how you can leverage it to actually do well on the job. So if you have customer service experience, if you have any type of analytical experience, if you have logistics experience, if you dealt with any type of software, if you dealt with any type of user access at your company, or even security access at your company, those are going to be skills that you can leverage in the government technology industry. Step 4, you want to ace the interview by understanding what the companies really care about. So when it comes to interviewing for this entry-level IT job, you really want to look at what the basic requirements are, see what tools and technologies or what platforms the company is going to be using, and make sure that you prepare for the interview. So when you prepare for this interview, you can literally go onto YouTube and look to see any courses or any labs that are aligning to the skills and the tools and technologies that this company is looking for you to do on the job. So even if you don't have experience with these tools or technologies, you can still talk about the labs that you've done. You can talk about the at-home experience that you do have, and you can relate it to what you've done at your current job. And that's going to allow you to stand out. And during the interview, if you tell them that, you're willing to learn and you're willing to try new things and you're a really hard worker, that's going to help you stand out from the competition. Because trust me, a lot of people are going to go into the interview and they're just going to say, I don't know, whenever they ask them questions. So if you go in there and you don't say, I don't know, and you're always able to relate it back to either a lab or relate it back to relevant experience that you have or similar experience that you have from your job, that's going to allow you to stand out because you have a completely different mindset from everybody else. So a hack that you can use to prepare for these technical interviews, whatever type of job that you're going into an interview for, let's say it's a help desk position. You can go onto YouTube and type in help desk interview practice questions. Go through, practice those questions, and then from there, you'll be much more prepared going into your technical interview. The truth is, while everyone else is making excuses why they can't break into GovTech, there are people with less experience than you that are landing six-figure careers every single day. The only difference, they stopped believing the myths and they started taking action. And that's exactly why I created my GovTech program, to show you and help you step by step into your first GovTech role. So if you want to land these roles, click the first link in the description below and I'll work with you to help you land your first GovTech role. See you in the next video.